Oh, you played all day.
Yes.
Play. What did you play?
Um, TikTok.
No, TikTok. Okay. So you played TikTok all day. So you have a
Yes.
whole day free day. Okay. So last night we talked about the present perfect tense, right? Present perfect
Mm-hmm.
tense. And what's the structure? What's the structure of present perfect tense?
Um, Structure mean like subject plus
Yes, subject.
have plus verb three.
Okay, yes. Present perfect, it's the structure is subject, then the use of has and have. Has for
Mm-hmm.
singular subject and have for plural subject, and then the verb in past participle, the third form of the verb, the past participle of the verb. So now let us the structure present perfect. Yes, present perfect tense, you use it when you are not sure of the time, right? It happened a while ago, it happened in the past, but you did not know the time when it happened. So you're not sure of the time when it happened. And present perfect expresses an activity or situation that occurred or happened before now at some unspecified time in the past. So before now, it happened before, just before now, and not specific time in the past. And it can also mean an activity. You can use the present perfect time if the activity is being repeated two or several time, more time before now, or specific without specific time. Present perfect also is used with since or for. So we have known each other for 10 years, right? We use since and for, present perfect. So let's talk about present perfect continuous. So in some other books, we use or they use present perfect progressive. In some other books, continuous is written as progressive. So do not be confused. Do not be confused if you see some books that uses present perfect progressive, and some books also use present perfect continuous. So the structure in present perfect continuous is subject, okay, subject plus and have, has or have, then there is a been. So been here is constant. So even if it is plural or singular, been is always been. It can never be changed. Then the ing form of the verb. So verb plus ing form plus the ing. If in present perfect it's only has and have or have, then the third form of the verb in present perfect progressive or continuous, it's has, have, been, then the ing form of the verb. So the present perfect continuous is used to talk about a continuing activity in the past that still has an effect on the present moment. So it happened in the past, but still continuing. You're still doing it in the present, and it has an effect. It has an effect on the present moment. So if this is the now time. So if this is the now time here, this is the now time. So present perfect, we use present perfect continuous if the activity, okay, if the activity or the event began in the past and in progress right now. So how long the activity or the event has been in effect, you have been doing that for how long? Okay, so this, for example, so the activity, the event happened in the past and still happening, and it's still happening in from the moment until now, or even in the future. It will happen, still happening in the future. So that is present perfect continuous. The present perfect continuous describes an activity that took place over a period of time in the recent past. So you can also use since and for in this tense. So the activity might have just stopped or might still be happening. So for example, we have here, I have been painting the house all day. So I've been painting the house all day, and this is the activity. Because you have been painting the house all day, you feel exhausted. So I'm exhausted. You're tired. So the past activity affects the present moment. So now you are tired. You are exhausted at the moment. So this affected your activity in the present. The activity in your present perfect continuous affects your present time. So for example, another example is I have been cooking this evening. Now I have to do the dishes. You have been cooking this evening. So have can be shortened into I've. So apostrophe VE. So I've been cooking this evening. Now I have to do the dishes. So this is the present. Now you're going to do the dishes. So this is the present moment, present time. Next is he's been waiting for the bus for an hour. So another thing here is we use the use of for. Same as present perfect tense, we can also use for and since. In present perfect continuous, we can also use for. So he's been waiting for the bus for an hour. So for an hour until now. Okay, until now he's still waiting for the bus at the moment. So the result would be he's going to be late for work. So until now, he is still not on the bus, still waiting for the bus. So 1 hour. So that is the form. Again, the form is subject, then has or have been, then the ing form of the verb. So the present perfect versus the present perfect. So present perfect continuous versus the present perfect. So what is the difference between these two? So the present perfect continuous is used to show that an activity in the past was in progress. Okay, progress, still in progress. And it is possible that the activity is still taking place. Next, you're still doing it. The possibility is you're still doing the activity, the event at the present moment. That is why it is continuous, progressing. So for example is I've been fixing my car. So I'm covered in oil. So this is the event that happened at the moment, right? At the moment, this is the result of this activity here. So I've been fixing my car. While the present perfect simple is used to show that an activity in the past is finished. It's already finished, but you don't know the time. There is no exact time when you started to fix the car and when it is done. It was done. So I've fixed. It's just that the activity is already completed, already done, complete. So I've fixed my car. So that means that the car is already fixed. So now I can drive to work again. So that is, or this is the difference between present perfect continuous and the present perfect simple. Okay, another examples we have here. I've been cooking dinner. It will be ready soon. And I've cooked dinner. So I've cooked dinner, meaning it's already done, completed. The task is completed. But you don't know when it is done, when you have cooked already, you finished cooking. And here, you're still doing the activity. You started in the past, the activity started in the past, and still you are doing the activity at the moment, but it will be done soon. It will be finished soon. Next is Vicky has been running today. Now she's really tired. So this is the effect. Now, the effect of the activity that she did today, and she's really tired, so has been running. It's still, we use here present perfect continuous. So another example for present perfect, Vicky has just run a race. Has just run a race. So it is finished. The race has just been finished. Has finished a while ago. It was finished a while ago. Now she's receiving a medal. Next example is I've been eating too much cake. I must eat less. In this example, you have been eating in the past and still continue eating the cake at the moment. Next is I've eaten all the cake. So that means you have already eaten. That the task is already completed, but there is no exact time. There is no specific time that you finished when you finished the activity or the event. Next is we've been looking at the houses. We want to move. So this activity is still in progress. You started the activity in the past and still in progress, still continuing in the present. Here we've bought a new house. We're moving in June. So you already did the task. You already did the task, but there is no specific time when you have bought the new house. Okay. But the task is already done. The event is already done. So that is about present perfect continuous in the difference between present perfect and present perfect continuous. So we have here, let's try this one. Okay. Present progressive, okay, present progressive and present perfect progressive. Okay. What's the difference? What's the difference between present progressive and present perfect? So present perfect, again, the event started in the past and is still continuing in the present. That is the present perfect progressive. In present progressive or present continuous, you are still doing the activity or the event right now. It is in progress right now. So the present progressive describes an activity that is in progress right now. So here we have Paul is sitting in class right now. So that means there is no length what time you started sitting In present progressive, what time you started sitting and when will you finish doing the activity. So that is about, there is no discussion of the length of time, when it started and when it's going to be finished. So it's just that you are doing the activity right at the moment. Present perfect progressive is how long in progress. So you started in the past, you started in the past, and you already know when it started, and there is a duration of time. Okay, there is a duration. So the length, it expresses the duration, the length of time, for how many hours, you've been sitting. So you can say for 8 hours. So I've been sitting here for 8 hours. So you started, for example, now it's 7, it's almost 8. So you started sitting like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So 12 o'clock, you started sitting since 12 o'clock, then until now, you are still sitting. So you are going to express it through using present progressive, perfect progressive, present perfect progressive. So I have been sitting, so you can say I have been sitting for 8 hours. That is the duration, for 8 hours. I have been sitting since. So I have been sitting since 12 o'clock. So I have been sitting since 12 o'clock. So there is a time since 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Since, this is how long? For 8 hours. So you use for if there is time, how many hours when you want to express the length of time. So for how many hours have you been sitting? So I have been sitting for 8 hours, 10 hours. But if you are going to talk the time when you started sitting, so you use since. So I have been sitting since 12 o'clock. I have been waiting since yesterday. I have been waiting since 5 p.m., 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I have been studying um, since I was 8 years old. I've been studying since I was a kid. So you use this kind, since, when to use since, and when to use for. Okay, that is present perfect progressive. If present perfect, when you use for and since, so that is, I have finished. I have finished eating. I have finished my task. I have finished my task, or I've finished eating since 12. So you use the same, but you already finished the activity. Using the present perfect, meaning you already have completed the task. In present perfect progressive, the task is still in progress, is still continuing, not finished yet. Okay, that is the difference. That is the difference in present progressive. But, okay, always remember the reminder, non-action verbs. Non-action verbs, for example, you have the know, like, own, belong, are not used in any progressive tenses. With non-action verbs, the present perfect is used with since or for to express the duration of a situation that began in the past and continues to the present. So you can only use present perfect, okay? You can only use present perfect to non-action verbs. non-action verbs. Like, I have known. I have known him for 12 years. I have known him. I have liked him. I have liked him for 7 years. So you can only use the present perfect with the use of since or for. But you cannot use present perfect continuous or present perfect progressive in this kind of verb. Same as, okay. So let us use the present progressive or the present perfect progressive in these sentences here. For example, I am sitting in class right now. So there is a time. So right now you are sitting. I am sitting. So I have been sitting. So this is present progressive, a present perfect progressive. I have been sitting here since 1 o'clock. So there is a duration, the length of time. So when it started. Number 2. Can you do number 2?
Okay. Kate is standing at the concert. She is waiting for the bus. She has been waiting for the bus for 20 minutes.
Yes, is waiting for the bus. Then she has been waiting for the bus for 20 minutes. Next, number 3.
Scott and Rebecca
Yes.
um are are talking on the phone right now. They have been talking on the phone for over an hour.
Okay, yes. Number 4.
Right now we are in class. We are doing an exercise. We we have been doing this exercise for a
Couple.
couple for minutes.
Okay, yes. Number 5.
You look busy right now. What uh what are you doing?
Yes, what are you doing? Okay, yes, what are you doing?
Um I have been working on my piece. I'm
Physics?
not sure.
Yeah, physics.
Physics experiment.
Yes.
It's a long and difficult
Meant.
experiment.
Yes.
Uh, how long um how long have you worked on it?
How long have you
Working on it?
working on it?
I start planning it last January. So
Yes.
I have been working on this since then.
Okay. Been working on it since then. Okay, so let's check. Yes, number 2 is correct. The number 2 we have, okay. Yes, is waiting. She is waiting for the bus. She has been waiting for the bus for 20 minutes. Yes, has been waiting. So Scott and Rebecca are talking. Yes, subject. There are 2 people. So it's plural, are talking on the phone right now. So the activity is continuous. Then they have been talking. Yes, they have been talking on the phone for over an hour. So we have this phrase for over an hour. Right now, we're in class. We are doing an exercise. Yes, right now, we are doing. So we are doing an exercise right now. We have, yes, have been doing this exercise for a couple of minutes. Yes. So you look busy right now. What are you doing? So what are you doing now? Because you're so busy. So what are you doing? Yes. It's when WH question, yes, the WH question. So you start it with a WH question. The next is the verb, the linking verb, yes, the be verb, then the pronoun. The pronoun, what are or what is she, you, he. This is the pronoun, the subject, okay, and the verb. So the verb, this is our then ing form because it's progressive, it's continuous. The activity is continuous, continuing. Next is I have been working. So what are you doing? So the question is, what are you doing right now? So right now, what are you doing? So is it have been working?
Oh, I I have work
I have
working.
worked. So what are you doing right now? If I'm going to ask you, what are you doing? So what would be your answer?
Oh, oh, I I am working.
Yes, I am
Oh my
working.
God,
Yes, I am.
sorry.
It's okay. So you got confused, right? You got confused. So I am working on my physics experiment. But if the question is, what have you been doing lately? So what have you been doing late? If the question is, what have you uh, been doing lately? So what have you been doing lately? So in this kind of question, you can answer it in present perfect progressive. So I have been, um, I have been working. I have been working um, on my physics experiment. Yes, I have been doing on my physics experiment. Okay, so that is how you answer question. But the question here is, what are you doing now? So I am, yes, I am working on my
I am
physics
working.
experiment. It's a long and difficult experiment. So how long, yes, have you forgot to use the been. Have you been working on it?
Have you been working on it?
Yes. So how long have you been working on it? So how long? So this is a question that it asks about the duration, the length of time. How much time did you spend working on it, on this project, on this experiment? So how long have you been working? So again, this is a WH question or H question, how long? How long? This is the question word, how long. Next is the have. After the after the question word is use the have or has, then the subject and been, the word been, and the ing form of the verb, the ing form of the verb. So the been is after your subject, after the subject. Next is I started planning it last January. So I have been working on it since then. Yes, I have been working on it since then. So I started planning. So this one is simple past, right? So I started. So this is simple past because there is time. So last January. That is why you need to use the simple past form of the verb, because there is a specific time placed in or written in the sentence, last January. So we have to use the simple past tense. Okay, next is this present perfect. Okay. Oh, yes. So present perfect progressive versus the present perfect. The present perfect. So do not be confused of using these two tenses, the present perfect progressive and the present perfect tense. So again, present perfect progressive. For example, we have Rita and Josh are talking on the phone. So they are talking, currently talking at the moment. So Rita and Josh are talking on the phone at the moment now. So they have been talking on the phone for 20 minutes. So there is a duration of time, the length of time, for how many minutes have they been talking? How many minutes have they been talking? So they have been talking on the phone
For
for
20,
20.
20 minutes.
Yes, 20 minutes. So there is a duration, there is a length. Present perfect, Rita has talked to Josh on the phone many times before now. So that means that they are not talking at the moment. Okay, they are not talking at the moment. They have talked before now, but now they are not talking anymore. That is about present perfect. Present perfect. Next is Rita has known Josh for 2 years. This is the duration of present situation. Present situation. Although it's present, it happened in the past and still continues, is still continuing in the present. You might say, teacher, why is it's not present perfect progressive? Because Rita is still knows. Rita still knows Josh. It's not an action verb. Okay, know is not an action verb. Non-action, no. Action, non-action verb, it's like these are verbs that don't express action. So no, it's like you know, right? You don't need action. You don't move, right? You don't move. The same as you look happy. You look happy today. You don't use your eyes to look, right? It's just the face. Your face is happy. So when I say you look happy today, so I don't use my eyes to just to move, right? So it's like when I use look, for example, I have in this example, you look beautiful. Beautiful. You look beautiful. And you have been looking beautiful. And you have looked beautiful. So here you cannot use the present perfect and present perfect progressive. You only use the simple tense, the simple present tense, because this is like the sense of sight. This is how you look like. This is how you look like. But when we say you have been looking for the book for 8 hours. This one, look here, is an action. It is an action verb. You use your eyes to look, right? To look for the book because it's lost, right? You cannot find your book. You cannot find your book for 8 hours. So you have been looking for it for 8 hours. So in this sentence, you can use the present perfect progressive. In this one here, you have looked for the book. I've looked for the book for 8 hours. In this one here, you have looked for the book for 8 hours. It means that you already find the book, but you find it after you found it. You found the book after 8 hours. Okay, so look here. Look in the first example, you look beautiful, and look here in our two examples. Look in our two examples, in the last two examples are different. Okay, different from our first example. Do you get it, Bungkee?
I get it.
Okay, yes. So that is how you have to ask yourself first if this is an action verb or non-action verb, because you cannot use non-action verbs in present perfect progressive. In present perfect progressive, you cannot use non-action verbs. It must always be an action verb, So you can use present perfect to non-action verbs. Okay, non-action verbs. So present perfect progressive expresses the duration of present activities that are in progress using action verbs. And present perfect tense, repeated activities that occur and happened at unspecified times in the past. So repeated means it happens more than once. It could be twice or many times. And it happened in the past with unspecified times. So you don't know when it started. And also you can use present perfect tense if there is a duration of present situation using the non-action verbs. Okay, non-action verbs. Next is here. For some verbs, not all verbs, duration can be expressed by either the present perfect or the present perfect progressive. So it could be correct if you use, it can be correct if you use the present perfect and the present perfect progressive. Either ways. So they have the same meaning. So both of them are correct. Only for the word living, live, for the verb live, and where, and go. Okay, these are some verbs. So live, work, teach, right? Smoke, wear glasses, play chess, so go to school, read